Okay, folks, so this is going to be a video that's going to give you kind of a detailed overview of replacing the headliner material in your Tesla Model 3. Nobody else has really done a video like this, so I had to piece together a couple of things and learn a lot. So hopefully this will help you out. So my goal was I sold a P90D Model S and bought this Model 3 Performance because I like the way it drives a lot more than the Model S. This is a much smaller car, very nimble, and much more my style. So what I didn't like was it had the cheap material. My Model S had this nice material like this, and the 3s kind of are cheaper, so I wanted to go ahead and swap it out. So as you can see, it's come out really well. I need to figure out a way to black these out, but basically um, I did the entire car. It took about 4 to 5 hours. So I'll just dive right into it. It's definitely a pain in the ass, but it can be done, especially if you watch this video. So the pieces come off. This right here is a piece down to there. This right here is one whole piece all the way back to here and all the way across and all the way around, one big square. Then you have this piece right here, and you have a piece starting here going all the way back. These small pieces are very easy. So this right here, you simply put something in here like a pry bar, and it just pops off. You literally pop it off, pull it back, and it's removed. Same as that over there. Oh, by the way, I still have the speakers up here, but I don't have that stupid grill, so it's much nicer now. It's much cleaner, and the sound comes through just fine. So I just covered over it and got rid of the grill. Actually removed it. So that's how that piece comes off. This piece right here, same deal. You just pop it forward, pull this out, and pop it this way, and this whole piece is going to come off. It's going to include this with it. Very easy. There's just clips on it. This piece here, same deal. You're going to pop it starting here, pull it this way, pull it this way, pull it this way, the whole piece comes out. Now, the top is a pain in the ass. However, there's some videos online that are kind of inaccurate. So, to get the top off, you're going to pop this piece right here off. There's a hex bolt under there. You remove it, pull this piece off. Put a clip in here, pop this down. It's a cover. There's a bolt in there. Remove it. This whole piece comes off. There's a wire harness. You unhook the wire. Once this comes out, this whole thing comes off. This right here, you need to get some plastic trim removal tools from like AutoZone. Put it back in there. Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it until it starts to come out. The whole piece is going to come out and wiggle out. It has two connectors, one there and one there to hold it in. This pops out, wire harness, unhook it, remove it. Right? These guys, you open them. You see the bolt in there. There's a plastic cover normally on it. I didn't put it back. Pop the plastic cover, undo the bolt, pull them out. Same thing with this. Put a piece of plastic trim removal tool in here, pop it out. Okay. Now, this thing, this big square, which is the hard one to get off, is attached. It has 3 attachment points right here, but here's the key to it. If you start to pry on it like this, you're just going to bend it and destroy it. What you have to do is you have to pull this out, stick your plastic or stick your tool up inside there. Get a tool that's shaped like this. It's made for removing trim. You can get them AutoZone. Stick it up in there, and there's a big plastic piece, right, that has the clips on it. You don't want to grab this because it's made out of like a fiber board. It will bend and break like cardboard. If you grab it from the plastic, and you'll see it underneath this, you'll see the plastic, and you pull it really hard and fast, you can jerk it off. It's actually pretty easy. Some other people were saying it was insanely hard and they were bending this and blah blah blah. That's not how you want to do it. Pull from the plastic. Big black plastic piece that's in here. You can grab it and pull it down. Jerk that off, 3 connectors. Over here, it's the same deal. Somewhere along here, there's a plastic piece that has one connector. It comes off super easy. You can just pull this thing off. And then here in the middle, it's exactly the same as the front. There's a big black plastic piece on the other side of this material. It's got 2 or 3 connectors in there. Do not grab from over here or over there and try to pull on it, bend and break the whole thing. Pull where it's connected from the plastic, jerk it down. It comes off pretty easy. Then once you have it down, there's a cable on the other side of this that goes down all the way into here. Okay? So you pull this piece off. Once you pull this piece off, this piece right here has a plastic connector under about right here under here. Pull that connector out. Once that connector's out, this entire plastic piece just pops up. It's got a clip right here and a clip right here and maybe a clip right here. The whole thing just pulls out. And the reason we're pulling all this out is because the cable goes down and plugs in about right here. Unplug the cable, unroute it, and let it dangle from right here. Once that cable's dangling, that is the only cable that runs all the electronics and stuff up here. So once that's out, you can pop this whole thing down and then you're ready to recover it. As far as recovering it goes, I'm not going to do an in-depth video on that because I think there's plenty of recovering videos. But what I will say is making these corners work on both sides is an absolute pain in the ass. You have to stretch the fabric really hard. I ended up gluing the corners in first so that everything was square and the corners look good, because after the corners are in, everything else just kind of folds over and you glue it. You use the headliner glue. It seems to work well. Now I will say that if you have mistakes, little small mistakes, like in a corner where it doesn't quite spread over, I can't see any here, but I had a couple where where the material didn't quite reach, and there was a tiny little triangle worth of foam showing through. This material, because of the way it has a mat to it, you can actually cut a little piece and just glue it in, and 100% will hide the imperfection. It worked really well. So that's basically it. Then you spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours wrapping all these individual pieces. Once they're all fully wrapped, you just copy. And I wrapped over the top. So in other words, I did not take the original OEM material off, because the original OEM material is a really good surface to glue to. The glue sticks really well, and this is not really affected. Like, the seams and stuff look good. It didn't really affect it didn't really affect or make the material offset too far to make it weird looking. So I think just going right over the OEM is a pretty good way to do it. I'm pretty happy about it. There's no weird, like, this doesn't stick out too far because it's got 2 layers. I think it's fine. But yeah, I mean, that's the basics of it, and then you just start assembling and putting it all back together. So when you put it all back together, you leave these pieces off. You leave this piece off. You leave the one back there off. The first thing you do is you start putting this back up. Oh, so there's a piece of plastic on the other side of this. It's a black piece of backing plastic. You got to make sure that it is in there and that the bolt will go through and it's in the right spot. Because once you start to pop this back up, you won't be getting it back down. So make sure that, what I would do is I would take a piece of tape and I would put the black plastic backing piece over the hole exactly where it needs to be for the screw to go through it, which is right here. And I would tape it to the back side of this where it's supposed to be so that it will be in the right spot. You don't have to worry about putting your hand up in here, pulling this down, bending it, and trying to hold that in while you put the screw in here. Right? So tape that thing in there, tape that one in there before you start putting the headliner back up, and you'll be good to go. But basically then it's just pop this headliner back up by itself, Once it's all the way in, popped in, then you start putting these pieces back in. This piece right here slides down in there. There's a clip here and a clip about right here. You just pop them on, and then of course you gotta get all your seals. You gotta pull this out like that so that it's on the right side, because this right here will be on top of it when you put it back on. Just get everything put back together. But yeah, so you put in the triangle, or not the triangle, the rectangle first, and then I would do that one, and then that one, and then do the centers, and then after those are done, then you can go ahead and do the back. The back's the same deal, kind of slides in. You hit it. There's a clip, and you hit it, and there's a clip, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. It's got 1, 2, 3 clips, a 4th clip, 5, 6, 7 clips, and then an 8th clip right here, and that's all it has. And then you'll have Alcantara. And also the car's quieter inside. I've noticed it's a sound deadening. Having the double layer is kind of nice. It has a different sound to it, and I really like it. Now, I did not get exactly the same material as this. It's raining. Close this. This is a cheaper stuff. I don't know how to exactly match this. I'm sure somebody has material to match it. I just didn't really look that hard. This stuff was $50 on eBay. Got two 30 by 60 pieces. The first piece did all the small pieces, and the second piece was used only to do this big piece on the top. If you get glue on it, let it dry, and then you can scrape it off. If you get glue on it and you rub it around and you really destroy it, Goo Gone will get it off. So that's a good tip, because your hands will get filthy working with that glue pretty quick. This was not in the way of this coming off, so that ended up being okay. I think it bumped it, but just, when you're pulling this thing right here down, just kind of pull it back and down. And it is definitely clipped in there, but you got to grab it, like I said, by the plastic, or you will destroy the whole thing. So then I did paint this as well with the plastic dip, so I can peel it off anytime I want. Just kind of rolling with it black right now to see how I like it. May put a carbon fiber piece on there, but yeah. Hope this helps, and have no fear. It is possible. I would say take these off first and do them, because you'll learn a lot about how to wrap it, because this right here is a beast. Doing this is a monster. It took me hours to get it wrapped and glued to where it looked good, but it is doable, and I believe totally worth it. Cheap ass Elon couldn't do it for his low price Model 3 that handles better than the Model S, has better tech, has better range, everything about it's better, but he had to throw in there some cheap ass Toyota material. And I'm gonna figure out if you guys have know how to deal with this. Should I paint it? I don't know how to take it apart. I'd love to cover it in Alcantara. I'm sure it snaps apart. I wish I had an old one that I could just destroy and figure out how it snaps apart by destroying it. I don't really want to destroy mine. If anybody knows how to get that apart for me doing this video, let me know in the comments as payment for this video, helping you help me figure this out. Talk to you guys later.